Welcome back to Footnotes and Folly, and to As You Like It. I am Pemberton. This is part 3, and Arden is now positively crowded with lovers. The jester Touchstone decides to marry a slow-witted goat girl called Audrey, philosophizing comically all the while. The gentle shepherd Silvius pines for the proud shepherdess Phoebe, who promptly falls head over heels for the disguised Ganymede, so that Rosalind now has a girl in love with her by mistake. And at the center of it all is the wonderful game between Ganymede and Orlando, which reaches its height when Rosalind has Celia perform a pretend marriage ceremony between herself and Orlando, a mock wedding in which every word Orlando speaks in jest happens, secretly, to be perfectly true. Few things in Shakespeare are as charming as watching two people fall properly in love behind a disguise. Let us go on.
Touchstone and Audrey enter another part of the forest. Jaques stands apart watching them. Come along quickly, good Audrey. I will round up your goats, Audrey. And now, Audrey? Am I your man yet? Does my plain face satisfy you? Your features? Lord help us! What features? I am here with you and your goats, just as that most changeable poet, honest Ovid, was among the Goths. What misplaced learning! Worse than Jove living in a thatched cottage. When a man's verses cannot be understood, and a man's fine wit is not helped along by that eager child, understanding, it strikes a man deader than a large bill in a small room. Truly, I wish the gods had made you poetic. I do not know what poetic means. Is it honest in deed and word? Is it a truthful thing? No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most inventive, and lovers are given to poetry, and whatever they swear in poetry may be said, since they are lovers to be invention. Do you wish, then, that the gods had made me poetic? I do, truly, because you swear to me that you are honest. Now, if you were a poet, I might have some hope that you were inventing it. Would you not have me honest? No, truly, unless you were ugly, for honesty joined to beauty is like serving honey as sauce for sugar. A substantial fool. Well, I am not beautiful, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest. Truly, to throw honesty away on a foul slut would be like putting good meat into a dirty dish. I am not a slut, though I thank the gods I am foul. Well, praise be the gods for your foulness. Sluttishness may come later. But let it be as it may, I will marry you. For that purpose I have spoken with Sir Oliver Martext, the vicar of the next village, who has promised to meet me here in the forest and join us together. I would very much like to see this meeting. Well, may the gods give us joy. Amen. A man with a timid heart might hesitate in this attempt, for here we have no temple but the wood, and no congregation, but horned beasts. But what of that? Courage. As hateful as horns are, they are necessary. It is said, many a man does not know the full extent of his goods. True. Many a man has fine horns, and does not know the full extent of them. Well, that is his wife's dowry. He did not earn them himself. Horns. Exactly. Only poor men have them? No, no, the noblest deer has horns as huge as the commonest. Is the single man therefore blessed? No. As a walled town is worth more than a village, so the forehead of a married man is more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. And as defense is better than having no skill, so having horns is more precious than lacking them. Sir Oliver Martext enters. Here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martext, well met. Will you finish the business for us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel? Is there no one here to give the woman away? I will not take her as any man's gift. Truly, she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful. Jaques comes forward. Proceed, proceed. I will give her. Good evening, good master, what do you call it? How are you, sir? You are very welcome. God reward you for your last company. I am very glad to see you. Just a little matter in hand here, sir. No, please keep your hat on. Will you be married, Motley? As the ox has his yoke, sir, the horse his bridle, and the falcon her bells, so man has his desires, and as doves peck and bill, so marriage longs to nibble. And will you, a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Go to church, and have a good priest who can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will only join you together the way boards are joined, then one of you will prove to be a shrunken panel, and like green timber warp. I am thinking that perhaps it would be better to be married by him than by another, for he is not likely to marry me properly, and if I am not properly married, it will be a good excuse for me later to leave my wife. Come with me, and let me advise you. Come, sweet Audrey. We must be married, or we must live in sin. Farewell, good Master Oliver. Not, oh sweet Oliver, oh brave Oliver, do not leave me behind. But turn away, begone, I say. I will not go to wedding with you. Touchstone, Audrey, and Jaques leave. It does not matter. Not one of those fanciful rogues shall mock me out of my calling. Martext exits. Rosalind and Celia enter. Do not talk to me. I am going to cry. Do, please, but at least have the decency to remember that tears do not suit a man. But do I not have reason to cry? As good a reason as anyone could wish for, so cry. His very hair is the color of deceit, a little browner than Judas's. And truly his kisses are Judas's own children. In faith, his hair is a fine color. An excellent color. Chestnut has always been the only color worth having. and his kissing is as full of holiness as touching sacred bread. He must have bought a pair of second-hand lips from Diana. A nun in Winter's sisterhood could not kiss more solemnly. The very ice of chastity is in them. But why did he swear he would come this morning, and then not come? No, certainly, there is no truth in him. Do you think so? Yes. I do not think he is a pickpocket or a horse thief, but as for truthfulness in love, I think he is as hollow as a covered cup or a worm-eaten nut. Not true in love? Yes, when he is in love, but I think he is not in love. You heard him swear plainly that he was. Was as not is. Besides, a lover's oath is no stronger than an innkeeper's word. Both are used to confirm false accounts. He is here in the forest attending on the Duke your father. I met the Duke yesterday and talked with him at length. He asked what family I came from. I told him from one as good as his, so he laughed and let me go. But why are we talking of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando? Oh, he is a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely, right across the heart of the woman who loves him, like a young tournament rider who spurs his horse on only one side and breaks his lance like a noble fool. But everything is brave when youth is in the saddle and folly holds the reins. Who is coming here? Corin enters. Mistress and master, you have often asked about the shepherd who complained of love, the one you saw sitting beside me on the grass, praising the proud, scornful shepherdess who was his mistress. Well, and what of him? If you want to see a scene truly played between the pale face of faithful love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, come a little way from here, and I will lead you to it, if you care to watch. Oh, come, let us go. The sight of lovers nourishes those who are in love. Bring us to this sight, and you shall say, I will be an eager actor in their play. They exit. Silvius and Phoebe enter. Rosalind, Celia, and Corin enter at a distance and listen. Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say you do not love me, but do not say it so bitterly. Even the common executioner, whose heart is hardened by the sight of death, does not bring the axe down on the humbled neck without first asking pardon. Will you be harsher than a man whose living is made by bloody drops? I do not want to be your executioner. I avoid you because I do not want to hurt you. You tell me there is murder in my eye. That is pretty talk, no doubt, and very likely that eyes, the frailest and softest things, which shut their timid gates against specks of dust, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I frown on you with all my heart. If my eyes can wound, let them kill you now. Pretend to swoon now. Come, fall down now. Or if you cannot, then shame on you for lying and saying my eyes are murderers. Show me the wound my eye has made in you. Scratch yourself with a pin and some mark remains. Lean your hand on a reed, and your palm keeps the scar and impression for a moment. But my eyes, which I have shot at you, do not hurt you. I am sure there is no force in eyes that can do harm. Oh dear Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh face the power of love, then you will know the invisible wounds that love's sharp arrows make. Until that time, do not come near me. And when that time comes, torment me with your mockery and do not pity me, just as until then I will not pity you. Why, I ask you, who was your mother, that you can insult, triumph over, and trample on the miserable all at once? What if you have no beauty, and truly I see no more in you than could go to bed in the dark without a candle? Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? What is this? Why are you looking at me? I see no more in you than in nature's common ready-made goods. By my little life, I think she means to snare my eyes too. No, indeed, proud mistress, do not hope for that. It is not your black brows, your black silk hair, your bead-like eyes, or your cream-colored cheek that can tame my spirit into worshiping you. You foolish shepherd, why do you follow her like a damp south wind, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times better as a man than she is as a woman. It is fools like you who fill the world with ugly children. It is not her mirror, but you who flatter her, and through you she sees herself as lovelier than any of her features can show. But mistress, know yourself. Get down on your knees and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love. I must tell you kindly in your ear, sell while you can. You are not wanted in every market. Ask the man for mercy, love him, take his offer. Ugliness is ugliest when, being ugly, it becomes a scoffer. So take her, shepherd. Farewell. Sweet youth, I beg you, scold for a whole year. I would rather hear you scold than hear this man woo. He has fallen in love with your ugliness, and she will fall in love with my anger. If that happens, as fast as she answers you with frowns, I will season her with bitter words. Why are you looking at me like that? Not because I bear you any ill will. I beg you, do not fall in love with me, for I am more false than vows made over wine. Besides, I do not like you. If you want to know my house, it is at the clump of olives close by here. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, press her hard. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look at him more kindly, and do not be proud. Though all the world could see, no one could be so deceived by sight as he is. Come, let us go to our flock. Rosalind, Celia, and Corin leave. Dead shepherd, now I find your saying powerful, who ever loved who did not love at first sight. Sweet Phoebe. Ha, what do you say, Silvius? Sweet Phoebe, pity me. Why, I am sorry for you, gentle Silvius. Wherever sorrow is, relief should follow. If you feel sorrow for my grief and love, then by giving me love, both your sorrow and my grief would be ended. You have my love. Is that not neighborly? I would have you. Why, that would be greed. Silvius, there was a time when I hated you, and yet it is not that I love you now. But since you can speak of love so well, I will endure your company, which used to weary me, and I will employ you too. But do not look for any further reward than your own gladness at being employed. So holy and perfect is my love, and I am so poor in favor, that I will think it a rich harvest merely to glean the broken ears after the man who reaps the main crop. Drop a scattered smile now and then, and I will live on that. Do you know the youth who spoke to me just now? Not very well, but I have met him often, and he has bought the cottage and the land that the old peasant once owned. Do not think I love him because I ask about him. He is only a peevish boy, yet he speaks well. But what do I care for words? Still, words are good when the one who speaks them pleases those who hear. He is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but surely he is proud, and yet his pride suits him. He will make a proper man. The best thing about him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue gave offense, his eye healed it. He is not very tall, yet for his age he is tall. His leg is only so, and yet it is well enough. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and richer red than the red mixed in his cheek. It was just the difference between a steady red and a mingled rose color. Some women, Silvius, if they had studied him part by part as I did, would have come close to falling in love with him. But for my part, I neither love him nor hate him, and yet I have more reason to hate him than to love him. What business had he scolding me? He said my eyes were black and my hair was black, and now I remember he mocked me. I wonder why I did not answer him back. But no matter, leaving something undone is no acquittal. I will write him a very taunting letter, and you shall carry it. Will you, Silvius? Phoebe, with all my heart. I will write it at once. The matter is in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and very brief. Come with me, Silvius. They leave. Rosalind, Celia, and Jaques enter. Please, handsome young man, let me get to know you better. They say you are a melancholy fellow. I am. I like melancholy better than laughter. People who go to extremes in either direction are unbearable, and they expose themselves to ordinary judgment worse than drunkards do. Why, it is good to be sad and say nothing. Then it is good to be a fence post. I do not have the scholar's melancholy, which comes from rivalry, nor the musician's, which is fanciful, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is calculating, nor the lady's, which is delicate, nor the lover's, which is all of these together. Mine is a melancholy of my own, mixed from many simple ingredients, drawn from many things I have seen. Truly, it comes from thinking over my travels in many different ways, and my constant brooding wraps me in a very peculiar sadness. A traveler! By my faith, you have good reason to be sad. I suspect you sold your own lands, just to see other men's. To have seen a great deal and own nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands. Yes, but I have gained experience. And your experience makes you sad. I would rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, especially if I had to travel to get it. Orlando enters. Good day and happiness to you, dear Rosalind. Well then, God be with you, if you are going to talk in blank verse. Farewell, Monsieur Traveller. Be sure you lisp, wear strange clothes, criticize everything good about your own country, fall out of love with the place where you were born, and almost scold God for giving you the face you have. Otherwise, I will hardly believe you have ever ridden in a gondola. Jaques exits. Well now, Orlando, where have you been all this time? You call yourself a lover. If you play me another trick like this, never come into my sight again. My fair Rosalind, I am here within an hour of the time I promised. Break an hour's promise in love? A man who would divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and break even 1,000th part of a minute in matters of love, may be said to have had Cupid clap him on the shoulder, but I would still swear his heart is whole. Forgive me, dear Rosalind. No, if you are this late, do not come into my sight again. I would just as soon be courted by a snail. By a snail? Yes, by a snail. Though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head, which is a better marriage settlement, I think, than you would give a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him. What is that? Horns, which men like you have to depend on your wives to give you. But the snail comes already armed with his fortune and prevents anyone from slandering his wife. Virtue does not make horns, and my Rosalind is virtuous. And I am your Rosalind. It pleases him to call you that, but he has a Rosalind with a better look than yours. Come, woo me, because now I am in a holiday mood and likely enough to consent. What would you say to me now, if I were your very, very Rosalind? I would kiss before I spoke. No, you had better speak first. Then, when you are stuck for lack of material, you may take the chance to kiss. Very good speakers, when they lose their place, will spit, and for lovers who lack, God help us, material, the cleanest trick is to kiss. What if the kiss is refused? Then she forces you to beg, and that begins fresh material. Who could run out of words when standing before his beloved mistress? You should, if I were your mistress, otherwise I would think my virtue stronger than my wit. What, out of my suit? Not out of your clothes, and yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind? I take some pleasure in saying you are, because then I can talk about her. Well, speaking in her person, I say I will not have you. Then, speaking in my own person, I die. No, faith, die by proxy. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all that time no man has ever died in his own person, that is to say, because of love. Troilus had his brains knocked out by a Greek club, though he did what he could to die beforehand, and he is one of the great examples of love. Leander would have lived many a fine year, even if Hero had become a nun, if it had not been for a hot midsummer night. For the good young man only went out to bathe in the Hellespont, and getting a cramp was drowned. Foolish chroniclers of that age blamed Hero of Sestos. But all these stories are lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love. I would not want my true Rosalind to think this way, for I swear her frown could kill me. By this hand it would not kill a fly. But come now, I will be your Rosalind in a more yielding mood. Ask me whatever you want, and I will grant it. Then love me, Rosalind. Yes, faith, I will, Fridays and Saturdays and every day. And will you have me? Yes, and 20 like you. What did you say? Are you not good? I hope so. Then can anyone want too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister? Please marry us. I cannot say the words. You must begin, will you, Orlando? Go on then. Will you, Orlando, take this Rosalind as your wife? I will. Yes, but when? Why now, as fast as she can marry us. Then you must say, I take you, Rosalind, as my wife. I take you, Rosalind, as my wife. I might ask you for your authority. But I do take you, Orlando, as my husband. There is a girl who goes ahead of the priest, and certainly a woman's thoughts run ahead of her actions. So do all thoughts. They have wings. Now tell me how long you would want her after you had won her. Forever and a day. Say a day without the forever. No, Orlando, men are April when they court, December when they marry. Girls are May while they are unmarried, but the sky changes when they become wives. I will be more jealous of you than a Barbary cock, pigeon over his hen louder than a parrot before rain, more restless for novelty than an ape, more dizzy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain, and I will do it when you feel like being merry. I will laugh like a hyena, and do it when you are inclined to sleep. But will my Rosalind behave like that? By my life, she will do as I do. Oh, but she is wise. Otherwise, she would not have the wit to do this. The wiser she is, the more willful she is. Shut the doors on a woman's wit, and it will get out through the window. Shut that, and it will get out through the keyhole. Stop that, and it will fly with the smoke out through the chimney. A man who had a wife with such wit might say, Wit, where are you going? No, you might save that rebuke until you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed. And what wit could wit have to excuse that? Why, to say she came there looking for you. You will never catch her without an answer unless you catch her without her tongue. Oh, a woman who cannot turn her own fault into something caused by her husband should never nurse her own child, for she will raise it like a fool. For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I must leave you. Alas, dear love, I cannot be without you for 2 hours. I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock I will be with you again. Yes, go your way, go your way. I knew what you would turn out to be. My friends told me as much, and I expected no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. I am only one more woman thrown away, and so let death come. 2 o'clock is your hour? Yes, sweet Rosalind. By my truth, and in good earnest, and so may God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one smallest piece of your promise, or come 1 minute after your hour, I will think you the most pitiful promise-breaker, the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of the woman you call Rosalind that could be chosen from the whole crowd of the unfaithful. So beware my judgment, and keep your promise, with no less devotion than if you truly were my Rosalind. So farewell. Well, time is the old judge who examines all such offenders. Let time put you to the test. Farewell. Orlando exits. You have badly abused our sex in your love. Talk. We ought to pull your doublet and hose over your head, and show the world what the bird has done to her own nest. Oh, Cos, my pretty little Cos, if only you knew how many fathoms deep I am in love. But it cannot be measured. My affection has an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal. Or rather, it is bottomless, so that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out. No. Let that same wicked bastard of Venus, conceived by thought, born from ill temper, and brought forth by madness, that blind rascal boy who abuses everyone's eyes because his own are gone, let him judge how deeply I am in love. I tell you, Ileana, I cannot bear to be out of Orlando's sight. I will go find a shady place and sigh until he comes. And I will sleep. They exit. Jaques and lords enter, dressed like foresters. Which one of you killed the deer? Sir, I did. Then let us present him to the Duke like a Roman conqueror. It would be fitting to set the deer's horns on his head as a branch of victory. Have you no song, forester, for this occasion? Yes, sir. Sing it. It does not matter whether it is in tune, so long as it makes enough noise. Second lord sings, and the others take up the refrain. What shall the man have who killed the deer? his hide and horns to wear. Then sing him home. Do not be ashamed to wear the horn, it was a crest before you were born. Your father's father wore it, and your father bore it. The horn, the lively horn is not a thing to laugh at with scorn. They all exit.
And there we pause again. The knots are all tied as tight as they will go, lovers paired and mispaired, a real heart hidden inside every joke, and only Rosalind, the master of the game, can untie them. Next time, in part 4, a brother redeemed by an act of mercy, a goddess of marriage, and the happiest ending in all of Shakespeare. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.